Hey everyone! Today, we'll be reviewing and testing the J-25. This is the newest strike fighter plane in the new update of Modern Warships, and it is one of the items you get from purchasing this month's VIP pass. The J-25 has impressive maximum durability of over 4,800. It's a little less than the J-31, but it's still pretty impressive as it's much higher than most of the strike fighter planes in Tier 3. The maximum speed of the plane is 58.1 knots, which is pretty good for a strike fighter plane. The J-25 is extremely maneuverable, just like the F/A-XX, because it also has maximum maneuverability of 110.5. It has a maximum radar range of 16 kilometers, and it has an excellent maximum afterburner speed of 121.9 knots, which is now the highest maximum afterburner speed that exists on a Tier 3 strike fighter plane. The previous highest maximum afterburner speed was 119.7 knots from J-31, so this plane should be expected to be much faster than the other planes later in the test. The J-25 has a maximum aviation reserve of 18 pieces, and lastly, it has a squadron size of 2, just like the J-31. As for its armaments, it's equipped with a ZPT-99 cannon, a YJ-83KH missile, and a DF-17 hypersonic missile glider. The ZPT-99 shrapnel cannon is the same cannon used on the J-31 that can score over 900 damage points from a single shot of a single plane, and has infinite ammunition, but you only have 20 shots at a time before it reloads. The YJ-83KH missile is also the same weapon used on the J-31 that can score over 10,000 damage points from a single shot of a single plane, and only has 4 ammunition. Lastly, a single DF-17 can score 27,000 damage points, and it only has 2 ammunition. This missile is certainly much more powerful than the Kinzhal missile of the Su-75, but the difference in the overall damage you get from a full squadron is not that great. The J-25 can get 54,000 damage points with its DF-17 missile, while the Su-75 can get 52,500 damage points with its Kinzhal missile. Now, I'll show you guys some tests I made for J-25. In the tests, J-31, Su-75, and F-35 Lightning will also be tested, so that we can compare their performance to that of J-25, and see how great exactly J-25 is. The first test will show you guys how much time it takes for J-25 to spot the target that is 10.8 kilometers away from my ship. As you guys can see, it took 18.11 seconds for J-25 to spot the target that is 10.8 kilometers away from my ship. Now let's see how much time it takes for other aircraft to spot the target. Here are the results of the test. The J-31 manages to spot the target in 18 seconds just like the J-25, but it is only 0.2 seconds away from reaching 19 seconds. The F-31 spotted the target in 19 seconds, while the Su-75 is the slowest of the three, due to its ability to spot the target in 20 seconds. So out of the 4 strike fighter planes I've tested, the J-25 is the fastest strike fighter plane in spotting targets, but this is something that should be expected as this plane possessed the highest afterburner speed. The second test will show you guys how long J-25 can survive within the air defenses of the enemy ship, and how many damage points J-25 can accumulate from burst attack before its entire squadron is wiped out. The ship I used as a target for this test is a fully upgraded USS Vela Gulf that has a fully upgraded Thel and Panzer.
General order! All hands man your battle stations!
As you guys can see, the J-25 survived for almost 40 seconds, and it was able to accumulate an excellent amount of damage points that is over 299,000 within that time frame. Now let's see how the other aircraft will perform in this test. Here are the results of the test. For durability, the J-31 managed to survive for an excellent 44 seconds. The Su-75 survived for 28 seconds, while the F-35 is the most fragile out of them as it was only able to survive for 27 seconds. For damage, the J-31 was able to accumulate an excellent amount of damage points that is over 288,000. The Su-75 was able to get over 242,000 damage points, while the F-35 is the weakest out of them as it was only able to accumulate over 173,000 damage points. So in this test, the strike fighter plane that performed well is the J-25. It doesn't have a durability that is as good as the J-31, but its durability provides enough time for the aircraft to get more damage points with its excellent firepower. Also, its durability is only a little less than the J-31. If compared to other aircraft, it's still pretty high. Overall, the J-25 is an effective strike fighter plane that is worth it. It is indeed very similar to J-31, and J-31 is a lot cheaper to get, but it has a hypersonic missile that could be more advantageous in the battle. Also, J-25 has a very stunning appearance. It is the coolest looking aircraft that the developers added since Talon was removed from the game. So if you want a strike fighter plane with a little more firepower than the J-31, and has a very stunning appearance, this is the strike fighter plane that you should have. That will be all for today. Hopefully you guys liked this video, and if you all did, please leave a like and subscribe to support me. Thank you so much for watching.